Nigeria Police Force has paraded 17 suspected murderers after its men raided Enohia Itim village in Afikpo local government area of Ebonyi State on the ground that the suspects allegedly resorted to jungle justice and burned to death a man suspected of witchcraft activities, just as its men in Imo State command invaded kidnappers' hideout and rescued 4 hostages. Olumiwa Adejobi, the first spokesperson while parading the suspects on Monday before newsmen in Abuja, said 2 among the kidnappers in Imo State were shot dead during gun battle on Saturday. In a remarkable display of courage and commitment, police operatives attached to the Imo State Command successfully executed a daring rescue operation that led to the safe liberation of 4 kidnapped hostages. The operation was carried out on Saturday, January 4, 2025. After the operatives received a distress call reporting the abduction of 4 persons in Umukan, Ohaji local government area, Imo State. The police operatives swiftly swung into action, locating the criminal hideout and engaging the kidnappers in a fierce gun duel, during which 2 of the kidnappers were neutralized. The success of the operation led to the rescue of the 4 victims and the recovery of 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 AK-47 magazine and 21 rounds of live 7.62mm ammunition. The force reaffirms its resolute devotion to combating heinous crimes such as this, and assures members of the public that efforts to rid of criminal elements from our society will continue relentlessly, ensuring the safety and security of all residents. In another development, on the 3rd of January 2025, police operatives attached to the Ebonyi State Command arrested 17 suspects in Enohia Itim village, Afikpo local government area for the murder of 1 Urumchi Okorocha, male, who was accused by local youths of being involved in the killing of several individuals through alleged witchcraft and spiritual means. The suspects had mobilized and apprehended the deceased, but instead of handing him over to legal authorities and committing to the rule of law, they decided to take laws into their hands, becoming judge, jury and executioner. The police operatives of the Uana Division mobilized tactical teams to the scene on a rescue mission, but the angry mob had already killed and burned Mr. Okorocha before the arrival of the police team. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetukun, condemns this act of jungle justice in totality. Citizens are once again urged to refrain from taking laws into their hands and report any suspected criminal activities to the nearest police division or formation around them for necessary action. The efforts of the police are constant reaffirmations of the dedication to bring to book perpetrators of heinous acts of crime in our societies. The IGP once again reiterates the unwavering commitment of the force to public safety and justice for victims of violent crimes. Citizens are encouraged to engage with security agencies, providing any information that may assist in the ultimate goal of creating a utopian society for all. The Nigeria Police Force remains ever committed to ensuring a safe environment for everyone, Olumiwa Adejobi stated in the press release. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force hereby addresses and clarifies a false and misleading claim circulating on X, formerly Twitter, made by one Adamu Gamba Zango, a lecturer at Base University. Mr. Zango, while recirculating a picture which has been in the Internet archives since 2019, alleged that it was that of a Deputy Commissioner of Police serving at the Kaduna State Police Command who was arrested for supplying firearms to bandits and kidnappers. He further shared the said image to support this baseless claim. It is pertinent to state that the individual depicted in the shared photograph is not a serving member of the Nigeria Police Force. Investigations have revealed that the man in the image is one Kingsley Udoye, a civilian who was arrested by the Akwa Ibom State Police Command on January 2, 2019 for impersonating an Assistant Commissioner of Police. At the time of his arrest, Udoyen was found to have been using a fake police rank to defraud and intimidate unsuspecting members of the public. Items recovered from his residence included an English pistol without ammunition and portraits of various police ranks. It is also important to point out that there is no connection between the Kaduna State Police Command and the false allegations propagated by Mr. Zango. The Nigeria Police Force condemns the spread of false information, which not only tarnishes the image of the force but also undermines public trust and safety. Members of the public are urged to verify information from credible sources before sharing. The Nigeria Police Force remains committed to transparency, accountability, and the pursuit of justice. Spreading unverified claims is a violation of laws concerning defamation and cybercrime, and the police may pursue appropriate legal action against individuals or entities involved in disseminating such falsehoods. For accurate information and updates, the public is encouraged to follow the official channels of the Nigeria Police Force on the following social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, @Policing; Instagram, @Nigeria Police Force; Facebook, @Police; YouTube, @Policing; TikTok, @Police. Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer, stated on Friday.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Innocent Orji-led Biafra armed group, Biafran Provincial Government, BPG, has called on residents in southeast states to avoid night travel, and also warned secret cult members against cultism-related activities in the southeast geopolitical zone, with additional warnings to its armed men against Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo Amnesty program, cautioning its members to always use precision weapons and avoid killing civilians when in contact with Nigeria's security operatives. Innocent Orji stated this in a press statement issued on New Year Day. Few days after yet-to-be-identified armed group invaded Enohia local government area, killing over 9 persons, both security operatives and civilians, with more persons, mostly vigilante members, killed at Oba community in the Idemili South local government area of the state. No group has claimed responsibility for the December 30, 2024 killings in Enohia and Oba community, but Innocent Orji in the New Year message warned against cultism, kidnappers and political thugs who are acting as unknown gunmen to cause mayhem in the southeast states. The violent activities by known state actors in Anambra State forced the state governor, Soludo, to declare a major state of emergency in the state on New Year Day, with 10 million naira's bounty placed on each head of any member of the killer squad killing security operatives and civilians in the state. Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, on Friday warned Biafra armed group, among others, that the force will no longer tolerate any act of assault and killing of its personnel. IGP, while speaking at the Enugu State Command of the Nigeria Police Force during his 2 days official visit ahead of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit to the state, ordered policemen to collectively respond appropriately to deal with anyone or group that assault or kill police officer. The Biafran Provincial Government, in a press statement issued earlier by its members in Awka, the Anambra State capital, stated in quote thus: "In the final report after remote monitoring and information gathering, the Provincial Administrator of Awka Province, Colonel Okunwa Okafor, reiterates the conspiracy to instigate violence by agents of the occupying government of Nigeria, which notably amongst others includes defunct Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo and his political associates. It has been uncovered by our intel that recent call for amnesty by the defunct Anambra State Governor is to protect his cousins who were apprehended for cultism and political thuggery, leading to the violence escalating in Awka and its environs. The agenda as set for the proposed amnesty is the recruitment of the recipients as security agents in affiliation with the occupying forces to hunt and eliminate pro-Biafra activists and sympathizers. To cover up his complicity and that of his political associates in the escalation of violence in defunct Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo is blaming the pro-Biafra group, IPOB, while offering a deadline of February 2025 for acceptance of amnesty. Meanwhile, the illegal rendition and long-term arbitrary detention of IPOB leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as conspired by cohorts of the occupying government of Nigeria, including Professor Chukwuma Soludo, in order to remain politically relevant in the former eastern region of Nigeria, failed woefully, as indigenous Biafrans are more determined to exercise their inalienable rights to self-determination, national sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity as accorded by indigenous, regional and international laws, resolutions, instruments, procedures and decisions. Also exposed by our intel is that the overall acceptance of amnesty by the pro-Biafra group, IPOB, is now set as a prerequisite for the release of the IPOB leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from detention of the occupying government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience and has not committed any crime. The spurious charges instituted against him is without evidence and cannot be proven in any court of legal jurisdiction. The Biafran Provincial Government (BPG), Government of the State of Biafra, hereby notifies Professor Chukwuma Soludo that his threats to indigenous Biafrans in defunct Anambra State to forcefully remove us from our lands and also restricting us from practicing our customs and traditions is totally in contravention of the Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and international human rights law, which includes the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP. The massacres of defenseless indigenous Biafrans by the occupying terrorist forces of Nigeria in Opoko, 2006 Ezo River, 2008 Oka, 2015 Onitsha Held Bridge, 2015 Tazan, 2015 Mpo, 2016, including the ground assault and aerial bombardment still ongoing in several communities in defunct Anambra State, have proven the urge for self-political interest instead of the well-being, growth and development of indigents and their homelands. Colonel Okunwa Okafor called on the Biafran military troops deployed to defunct Anambra State to be properly guided by the military mandate, principles and rules of engagement as established by the Biafran National Guard (BNG), which is capable of overwhelming the enemy forces, protecting peace and the guarantee of stability and development in territories of the state of Biafra. In conclusion, he drew attention to the necessity of perseverance by the civilian populace to be able to navigate our right to self-defense as a shared responsibility to safeguard our lives and protect our fundamental human rights, said Chinazo Ama, who identified self as captain in charge of media and communications of Oka Province, Biafran Provincial Government. The head of the armed group, Innocent Orji, in a New Year message, said, "The Biafran Provincial Government (BPG), Government of the State of Biafra, heartily welcomes indigents, citizens and friends of the sovereign state of Biafra into the year 2025, which is our year of fulfillment. The year 2025 is geared towards the fulfillment of our inalienable rights to self-determination, national sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity in the 31 provinces including the national provincial capital, Letu Eda of the state of Biafra. The government of the state of Biafra appreciates the patriotism of the indigents and citizens in ensuring the workability of our administration and self-defense in recovered territories of the state of Biafra. The indigents and citizens of the state of Biafra must continue to ensure that criminal elements do not operate in their communities under the disguise of unknown gunmen. Those who engage in kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, political thuggery and other vices within the occupied territories of the state of Biafra are hereby warned to cease such heinous acts that brings forth anarchy to indigenous Biafrans. The peoples of Biafra domiciled in the conflict-affected zones in Biafran territories are advised to avoid any engagement or travel during night time for safety and security reasons. It is important that indigenous Biafran youths reject every incentive for amnesty program from agents of the occupying government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Anyone who accepts the amnesty is accepting that she is a criminal and wishes to be pardoned by the agents of the occupying terrorist forces and government of Nigeria. The human rights and fundamental freedom of the peoples and government of the state of Biafra is legal, existing and sacrosanct. The release of IPOB leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is imminent and should not be used as a verb to deceive the people of Biafra by agents of the occupying terrorist forces and government of Nigeria. It is essential for indigenous Biafrans to pledge into the military-civil converge as administrated by the Biafran Supreme Military Council of Administration (BSMCA), which is a comprehensive approach to security within the scope of military, socio-political, economic, environmental and human dimensions. We should strengthen commitments to the Biafran military-civil converge to enable us live safer and build a more prosperous future for the state of Biafra as redeclared, proclaimed, restored, re-established, and the Biafran national flag of independence hoisted at the Defense Headquarters, 2nd Division Nsukka Province on the 30th of October 2021. The Biafran Provincial Government (BPG), Government of the State of Biafra, shall continue to be critical and practical on poverty, food security, education, global development, peace and prospects of building strong institutions. I, General Innocent Orji, GCSB, reiterates the need for brotherliness amongst the civilian and military populace to ensure the elimination of rogue and non-state groups in territories of the state of Biafra. Every Biafran military troops deployed for documents should minimize the risk to civilians, prioritize aerial and ground surveillance, and also make use of precision weaponry. The Biafran Provincial Government (BPG) inaugurated as the bona fide administrating power in Bende Province on the 30th of October 2023 after extensive consultations, interactions and mutual agreement by the Biafran Supreme Military Council of Administration (BSMCA) with indigenous community representatives, elders, youths, age grade and women, is diligently working towards the fulfillment of the discussion, formal recognition and full participation of the State of Biafra as the 194th member state of the United Nations and 56th nation in the African continent. A wonderful and cheerful New Year 2025 to every indigenous Biafrans and lovers of freedom across the globe, said Innocent Orji, who identified self as head of state, Biafran Provincial Government, BPG and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, National Provincial Capital, Letu Eda.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Nigeria Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has issued a stern warning to Biafra armed groups and other non-state actors killing police officers in the southeast states and other geopolitical zones in the country that the force will no longer tolerate any act of assault or killing of policemen in the country. Stating this on Friday in Enugu State ahead the official visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the state on Saturday, IGP ordered policemen to respond appropriately to any aggression against men of the force. IGP gave the warning during his official visit to the Enugu State Command, emphasizing that there must be appropriate response from the force against attackers of policemen. IGP vowed that the force will no longer tolerate any assault on his officers and men, let alone killing any officer, no matter the situation. We will not tolerate any assault on our police officers, not to talk of killing. An assault on a policeman is criminal, is an assault on the IGP, and we are not going to kindly any act of assault on our officers, not talk of killing any of our officers. Anywhere there is killing of any policeman, you must all respond collectively and appropriately. There must be appropriate response from us. Where a policeman is assaulted, there must be appropriate response to it. We will not tolerate it anymore. In this year 2025, we are going to say no to assault on our officers. We are going to say no, capital no, to killing of any of our men, he insisted. Egbetokun promised that the force was working with the Nigerian government to address the welfare of its personnel. Although he raised concerns over few police officers and men who are tarnishing the image of the force, he commended the policemen in Enugu State for their professional conduct in discharging their duties. He said, "I want to assure you officers and men of Enugu State Command that we recognize the good job that you are doing. You are very hard-working. You are committed. You are diligent in the discharge of your duties. I have met the governor earlier on and he was full of praises for officers and men of this command. I am super proud of your achievements and your conduct generally. I also want to tell you that as very good that you have been doing, there are still few bad eggs among you that are giving us concerns. The first spokesperson, Olumiwa Adejobi, in a news release, reported that the IGP arrived Enugu State on a 2-day official visit aimed at strengthening security and fostering collaboration with key stakeholders in the region. The IGP is accompanied by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG, in charge of the Southeast, Dick Frank, the AIG Zone 13, AIG Godwin N. Agolo, the AIG FCID Annex, Enugu, and Kwazi Bizigudali, Commissioners of Police of Enugu and Anambra States, and other senior officers. As part of his engagements, the IGP paid a courtesy visit to the Governor of Enugu State, His Excellency Dr. Peter N. Mba, during which discussions centered on strategies to enhance the security architecture of the state and ensure the safety of lives and property. The IGP reiterated the commitment of the Nigeria Police Force to maintaining peace and security across the country and extensively to Enugu State. Following his visit to the governor, the IGP proceeded to the Enugu Council of Traditional Rulers, where he was warmly received by the chairman, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Samuel Asabo, and other esteemed traditional rulers. The Inspector General of Police further emphasized the critical role of traditional institutions in enhancing community-based security initiatives and urged their continued support and collaboration in addressing security challenges in the state. This visit underscores the IGP's dedication to community-oriented policing and his resolve to engage with diverse stakeholders to strengthen trust, cooperation, and proactive crime prevention measures in Enugu State and the Southeast region at large. Addressing the officers and men, the IGP harped on discipline, professionalism, and decency. Every police officer is enjoined to portray pleasant character at all times, showing empathy to citizens while discharging their lawful duties. The Nigeria Police Force remains resolute in its mission to protect lives and property while fostering peace, stability, and development across the nation. The force news release ends in quote.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Anambra State Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo on Thursday visited Umuike area in Ubangwekwam community at Ihiala local government area to sympathize with the relatives of those killed during the deadly unknown gunmen attack on Monday at the venue for the preparation of the burial ceremony of late Madam Bridget Akonma Onichukwu and announced 10 million naira's bounty pair held of any member of the unknown gunmen gang responsible for the attack. Office of Ihiala Local Government Chairman also on Thursday in a press release confirmed that 2 security operatives attached to the council secretariat were killed, against the earlier police report that they were only shot at while the unknown gunmen were escaping. The confirmation brought the total numbers of people apparently killed during the attack to 9 individuals in Ihiala. Soludo, while speaking during the visit, said the state government will not rest until the perpetrators of the heinous crime are apprehended. A news release by the chief press secretary to the governor, Christian Aburime, indicated that, during a condolence visit to the family of the late Bridget Akonma Onichukwu in Umuike, Ubangwekwem Ihiala, Governor Soludo expressed his deep sorrow over the tragedy that resulted in the unfortunate deaths of 7 individuals, including 2 security personnel. The assailants opened fire at the gathering, targeting security operatives stationed near the local government headquarters as they fled the scene. Speaking at the event, Governor Soludo extended his heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the victims and reassured the community that those responsible for this violent act will be brought to justice. We will not rest until the perpetrators of this heinous crime are apprehended. All of them will pay for it, he stated. We are on their trail as we speak. Anybody that will avail us information that will lead to their arrest will be appreciated. Ihiala security is currently being discussed and will be unveiled soon, the governor added. Meanwhile, the chairman of Enohia Local Government Council and mayor of Enohia Local Government Area of Anambra State, Engineer Anayochukwu Charles Ojiaku Ugochinyere, on Thursday the 2nd of January 2025, paid a condolence visit to the people of Ubahuekwem in Enohia to commiserate with them over the last Monday killing of innocent people in Onichuku compound, where preparations were ongoing for the burial of the late matriarch, Nneoma Mrs. Bridget Akonwa Ihekamba Onichuku, who died in April 2024. It will be recalled that earlier this week, precisely at about 10:30 a.m. on Monday, 30th of December, a gang of gunmen stormed Enohia and snuffed life out of innocent harmless people. The unfortunate attack also included gruesome murder of 2 members of the security personnel attached to Enohia Local Government Secretariat and injuring of another one, which has since thrown the secretariat community into mourning. Receiving engineer Anayo Ojiaku Ugochinyere in Onichuku compound was Barrister Valdayoha Uwanoneze, a community leader and powerful stakeholder in Enohia Local Government Area, who thanked the mayor for identifying with them in their moment of grief. Barrister Dayoha also prayed for engineer Anayo Ojiaku and members of his entourage, among whom were honorable councillors, secretary to the local government, special advisors, chief of staff to the council boss and members of his kitchen cabinet. He prayed God to always protect them and grant them the ultimate wisdom to pilot the affairs in their respective offices. In a brief remark, the local government boss asked the families of the victims to take heart, as virtually everyone in Enohia was also touched. He, however, assured them that there would be light at the end of this unfortunate tunnel and the storm would soon be over, as the solution governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo CFR, is not leaving any stone unturned in his pragmatic efforts to put the criminals to where they belong. Enohia will rise again. The press release made available by the Head of Media and Strategic Communications, Office of the Chairman of Enohia Local Government Area, ends in quote. We had earlier reported that Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the lawyer to the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has petitioned Anambra State Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo over the deadly attacks launched by unknown gunmen in less than 48 hours to New Year, which resulted to numbers of killings at the main town of Enohia Local Government Area around 11 a.m. on Monday morning during the weekly sit-at-home. Also, the popular market known as Nkwobi in the community catching fire, and later same day around 11 p.m. midnight, the killer squad invaded Oba community in Idemili south of the state, killing vigilante members. The attacks, among other violent activities in the state, forced the Anambra State Governor, Charles Chukwuma Soludo, to declare a major state of emergency on New Year Day in a video statement made available to the public. In the video press statement, Governor Soludo said that the attackers are not unknown gunmen. Rather, they are known gunmen living among the people, and the attackers are also brothers, sisters and relatives to people in the state. It was gathered that the unknown gunmen around 11 p.m. on Monday approached 2 vigilante members at the estate gate near Maslina Hotel at Oba community, commanded the 2 vigilante members at the gate to hand over their guns, but one of them refused. The unknown gunman thereafter shot dead the vigilante member who refused to hand over his gun, while the second vigilante member sustained bullet injuries from the gunshots. It was also gathered that the unknown gunman thereafter moved to Top 10 Hotel along the Onitsha-Owerri Road at Oba community and shot dead a popular vigilante member guiding the hotel when the local security operative approached their vehicle to confirm if there were security operatives on patrol. Earlier around 11 a.m. on Monday, we learned that the unknown gunmen ambushed some security personnel at Enohia Local Government Secretariat, killed security operatives and carted away their guns. Residents said the unknown gunmen thereafter proceeded to Ubahuekwem quarters at Enohia, where the CEO of Kamba filling station was burying his mom, and shot dead another 8 persons. Videos posted online showed that some of the dead victims were macheted to death, with deep cuts on the foreheads of some of the lifeless bodies. Also on Monday, traders at the Nkwobi, the main market in Enohia, lost goods and other properties worth millions of naira to fire incident that burned some parts of the market. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, in a public petition against Governor Soludo, said the unknown gunman attack in Ihiola on Monday is a glaring reminder that Anambra State is under siege, and called on the governor to shift his focus from media narratives to tackling the real perpetrators destroying the state. The horrifying events in Ihiola, Anambra State, are a glaring reminder of the siege our beloved state is under. The gruesome loss of innocent lives to these unspeakable atrocities is deeply tragic. Watching those harrowing clips, I am filled with grief and outrage. My heart bleeds. Anambra is in dire straits, and the time has come for Governor Soludo to shift focus from media narratives to tackling the real perpetrators desecrating our land. These soulless beings, best described as monsters in human form, thrive on the shedding of innocent blood. This is a call for decisive and collective action. The weakened state security apparatus alone cannot bear the burden. Every able-bodied son of Anambra must rise to the challenge, joining forces in a determined effort to eradicate these predators who exploit every opportunity to terrorize and retreat into their dens. As we close the year on this heart-wrenching note, our resolve must be unwavering and resolute. It is unacceptable to continue tolerating the political compromises that endanger the lives of our people. Where is the value we place on human life and dignity? These criminals are no strangers. They are shielded by those within our communities. The state must deploy every available resource to protect its citizens. Anambra cannot remain a safe haven for such heinous acts. The time for lip service is over. Enough is enough. We must act now with unity, strength, and an unyielding commitment to reclaim our state from these evil forces. Together, we can restore the peace and security our people rightfully deserve, Ifeanyi Ejiofor stated in quote. Anambra State Police Commissioner, Enohia Itim, shortly after the attack, paid on-the-spot assessment visit to Ihiola community and ordered manhunt of the attackers. Tochukwu Ikenga, the State Police Command Public Relations Officer, in a news release on Monday, reported that the Commissioner of Police CP Enohia Itim has ordered an immediate manhunt of the assailants who attacked security operatives and unarmed civilians in Ihiola by 11:20 a.m. today, the 30th of December 2024. The unfortunate attack resulted in the death of 7 persons, among which are 2 unarmed passers-by. The Joint Security Team rescued one of the victims, who is currently responding to treatment in a hospital. The CP, while on an on-the-spot assessment visit to the scene, interviewed some eyewitnesses of the incident. Information also had it that the armed men started shooting sporadically at a venue where preparations are ongoing for a burial ceremony slated for 2nd of January, 2025. Also, while escaping the scene, the armed men shot at 2 security operatives at a security observation post close to the local government headquarters by the express road. To this end, the CP extends his condolences to the families and friends, especially the good people of Ihiola, over the sad incident. He further assured that the perpetrators of this heinous crime would be hunted down. It would be recalled that Reverend Father Tobias Chukwujeko Okonkwo was killed by unknown gunmen on Thursday, December 26, 2024, also in Ihiola. The incident happened around 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. along Onitsha-Owerri Road at Ihiola community on 26th of December, 2024, just a day after Christmas celebration. According to the Chancellor of the Nnewi Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father Raphael Eze, who was a pharmacist and manager of the respective School of Nursing, Midwifery, and Medical Laboratory at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Ihiola. Stanley Nnabuife, a Nigerian, in a Facebook post over the incident in Ihiola, said, "Ihiola again. Dear God, why are these calamities befalling Ihiola? What have my people done, God?" Earlier today, a part of Ihiola's most popular and populated market, Nkwogbe, was caught up by fire outbreak, making it the 2nd time in 3 years. The other was a complete burnt down of the market, this time some parts. This is according to an early report. Recall that just last week, about 30 people lost their lives to stampede 2 days to Christmas. And before now, Ihiala has been battling with serious insecurities challenges. God of my father, please forgive us and heal our land, Ihiala. Also reacting, Chief Akai Egwuonwu in a statement made available by his media unit said, and in quote thus, Akai Egwuonwu, Chairman and CEO of Stein Industries Limited, as well as the leading aspirant for Anambra South senatorial by-election in APGA, has expressed shock over the tragedies in Ihiala local government AEA yesterday. According to Egwuonwu, Ihiala is an important local government area in Anambra South, and we mourn the fire outbreak at Nkwo Obe in Ihiala as well as the violence by known state actors. Both incidents led to the loss of lives and loss of means of livelihood, and it is regrettable. Akai Egwuonwu then prayed that God would strengthen the people, as he called on spirited in the Anambra South to see ways to assist affected small business owners to get back on their feet. MSM is an important player in the business community. Those affected by this unfortunate fire outbreak at Nkwo Obe fall under this category. If you recall, we had set as one of our top agenda, seed capital for MSM is. We also pledged to critically evaluate and prioritize resolving the raging insecurity in Anambra State. These events have now strengthened our resolve and dedication to our agendas, Chief Akai Egwuonwu said, as he sent his condolences to the families of the deceased in the violence involving known state actors. Chief Akai Egwuonwu's media team statement ends in quote. Inochi Chinonso, a Nigerian, also said, Oluebo Global Services is a regular caller in most Sapienza Radio Onitsha programs, especially Sapienza Express. His opinions is always on how to fix Anambra State security issues and make the state a livable one. Yesterday the news broke that Oluebo Global Services is no more. The story has it that he attended a funeral function in his hometown in Ihiala local government area and there was outburst between the police and the unknown gunmen resulting to the death of about 7 persons, which Oluebo Global Services is one of them. Things is getting scary in this part of the world. Genuine people can no longer move freely. I suggest a total proclamation of state of emergency in the whole of Anambra South. Let's start from there. May the souls of Oluebo Global Services and those who died in the incident rest in peace. Amen.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the lawyer to the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB has petitioned Anambra State Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo over the deadly attacks launched by unknown gunmen in less than 48 hours to New Year, which resulted to numbers of killings at the main town of Ihiala local government area around 11 a.m. on Monday morning during the weekly sit-at-home. Also the popular market known as Nkombe in the community catching fire, and later same day around 11 p.m. midnight, the killer squad invaded Oba community in Idemili south of the state, killing vigilante members. The attacks, among other violent activities in the state, forced the Anambra State Governor, Charles Chukwuma Soludo, to declare a major state of emergency on New Year Day in a video statement made available to the public. In the video press statement, Governor Soludo said that the attackers are not unknown gunmen. Rather, they are known gunmen living among the people, and the attackers are also brothers, sisters and relatives to people in the state. It was gathered that the unknown gunmen around 11 p.m. on Monday approached 2 vigilante members at the estate gate near Maslina Hotel at Oba community, commanded the 2 vigilante members at the gate to hand over their guns, but one of them refused. The unknown gunman thereafter shot dead the vigilante member who refused to hand over his gun, while the second vigilante member sustained bullet injuries from the gunshots. It was also gathered that the unknown gunman thereafter moved to Top 10 Hotel along the Onitsha-Owerri Road at Oba community and shot dead a popular vigilante member guiding the hotel when the local security operative approached their vehicle to confirm if there were security operatives on patrol. Earlier around 11 a.m. on Monday, we learned that the unknown gunmen ambushed some security personnel at Ihiala Local Government Secretariat, killed security operatives and carted away their guns. Residents said the unknown gunmen thereafter proceeded to Ubahuekwem quarters at Ihiala, where the CEO of Kamba filling station was burying his mom and shot dead another 8 persons. Videos posted online showed that some of the dead victims were macheted to death, with deep cuts on the foreheads of some of the lifeless bodies. Also on Monday, traders at the Ukobe, the main market in Ihiala, lost goods and other properties worth millions of naira to fire incident that burnt some parts of the market. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, in a public petition against Governor Soludo, said the unknown gunmen attack in Ihiala on Monday is a glaring reminder that Anambra State is under siege and called on the governor to shift his focus from media narratives to tackling the real perpetrators destroying the state. The horrifying events in Ihiala, Anambra State, are a glaring reminder of the siege our beloved state is under. The gruesome loss of innocent lives to these unspeakable atrocities is deeply tragic. Watching those harrowing clips, I am filled with grief and outrage. My heart bleeds. Anambra is in dire straits, and the time has come for Governor Soludo to shift focus from media narratives to tackling the real perpetrators desecrating our land. These soulless beings, best described as monsters in human form, thrive on the shedding of innocent blood. This is a call for decisive and collective action. The weakened state security apparatus alone cannot bear the burden. Every able-bodied son of Anambra must rise to the challenge, joining forces in a determined effort to eradicate these predators who exploit every opportunity to terrorize and retreat into their dens. As we close the year on this heart-wrenching note, our resolve must be unwavering and resolute. It is unacceptable to continue tolerating the political compromises that endanger the lives of our people. Where is the value we place on human life and dignity? These criminals are no strangers. They are shielded by those within our communities. The state must deploy every available resource to protect its citizens. Anambra cannot remain a safe haven for such heinous acts. The time for lip service is over. Enough is enough. We must act now with unity, strength, and an unyielding commitment to reclaim our state from these evil forces. Together, we can restore the peace and security our people rightfully deserve, Ifeanyi Ejiofor stated in quote. Anambra State Police Commissioner, Enohia Itim, shortly after the attack, paid on-the-spot assessment visit to Ihiala community and ordered manhunt of the attackers. Tochukwu Ikenga, the State Police Command Public Relations Officer, in a news release on Monday, reported that the Commissioner of Police CP Enohia Itim has ordered an immediate manhunt of the assailants who attacked security operatives and unarmed civilians in Ihiala by 11:20 a.m. today, the 30th of December 2024. The unfortunate attack resulted in the death of 7 persons, among which are 2 unarmed passers-by. The Joint Security Team rescued one of the victims, who is currently responding to treatment in a hospital. The CP, while on an on-the-spot assessment visit to the scene, interviewed some eyewitnesses of the incident. Information also had it that the armed men started shooting sporadically at a venue where preparations are ongoing for a burial ceremony slated for 2nd of January, 2025. Also, while escaping the scene, the armed men shot at 2 security operatives at a security observation post close to the local government headquarters by the express road. To this end, the CP extends his condolences to the families and friends, especially the good people of Ihiala, over the sad incident. He further assured that the perpetrators of this heinous crime will be hunted down. It would be recalled that Reverend Father Tobias Chukwujeko Okonkwo was killed by unknown gunmen on Thursday, December 26, 2024, also in Ihiala. The incident happened around 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. along Onitsha-Owerri Road at Ihiala community on 26th of December, 2024, just a day after Christmas celebration. According to the Chancellor of the Nnewi Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father Raphael Eze, who was a pharmacist and manager of the respective School of Nursing, Midwifery, and Medical Laboratory at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Ihiala. Stanley Nnabuaif, a Nigerian, in a Facebook post over the incident in Ihiala, said, "Ihiala again. Dear God, why are these calamities befalling Ihiala? What have my people done, God?" Earlier today, a part of Ihiala's most popular and populated market, Nkwogbe, was caught up by fire outbreak, making it the second time in 3 years. The other was a complete burnt down of the market, this time some parts. This is according to an early report. Recall that just last week, about 30 people lost their lives to stampede 2 days to Christmas. And before now, Ihiala has been battling with serious insecurities challenges. God of my father, please forgive us and heal our land, Ihiala. Also reacting, Chief Akai Egwuonwu, in a statement made available by his media unit, said, and in quote, thus, Akai Egwuonwu, Chairman and CEO of Stein Industries Limited, as well as the leading aspirant for Anambra South senatorial by-election in APGA, has expressed shock over the tragedies in Ihiala local government AEA yesterday. According to Egwuonwu, Ihiala is an important local government area in Anambra South, and we mourn the fire outbreak at Nkwogbe in Ihiala as well as the violence by known state actors. Both incidents led to the loss of lives and loss of means of livelihood, and it is regrettable. Akai Egwuonwu then prayed that God would strengthen the people, as he called on spirited in the Anambra South to see ways to assist affected small business owners to get back on their feet. MSM is an important player in the business community. Those affected by this unfortunate fire outbreak at Nkwogbe fall under this category. If you recall, we had set as one of our top agenda, seed capital for MSM is. We also pledged to critically evaluate and prioritize resolving the raging insecurity in Anambra State. These events have now strengthened our resolve and dedication to our agendas, Chief Akai Egwuonwu said, as he sent his condolences to the families of the deceased in the violence involving known state actors. Chief Akai Egwuonwu's media team statement ends in quote. Inochi Chinonso, a Nigerian, also said, Oluebo Global Services is a regular caller in most Sapienza Radio Onitsha programs, especially Sapienza Express. His opinions is always on how to fix Anambra State security issues and make the state a livable one. Yesterday the news broke that Oluebo Global Services is no more. The story has it that he attended a funeral function in his hometown in Ihiala local government area, and there was outburst between the police and the unknown gunmen, resulting to the death of about 7 persons, which Oluebo Global Services is one of them. Things is getting scary in this part of the world. Genuine people can no longer move freely. I suggest a total proclamation of state of emergency in the whole of Anambra South. Let's start from there. May the souls of Oluebo Global Services and those who died in the incident rest in peace. Amen.
But very fundamental security of life and property. And we're now declaring a major state of emergency on that. And in weeks to come, we'll be able to restore back this state to become the safest state in Nigeria. We're going to put in everything, but we'll soon be officially launching our Operation Udogachi. But it's going to be one that everybody is going to be called upon to do something. Security is a collective enterprise. But these criminals are our brothers, sisters, they are relations, they are relatives, they are children, they are relations. They live amongst us. They are not unknown government, they are known government. They are engaged in severe criminal but lucrative enterprise. Bye guys, and a happy new year to you all. 2024 has come and gone. Its glories, its triumphs, and its disappointment as well. But all we have a thought that in all circumstances we give thanks to God. We'll keep our eyes on the glass that is half full, never on the half empty. 2024 has come and gone that we went through a lot, but also with a lot of promise. We believe and pray that 2025 in Anambra here, we captioned our budget as changing gears 2.0. That 2025 we're beginning the implementation of our 2025 budget with effect from today, because we have already signed that into law last week. We will start implementing our own 2025 budget from today, the 1st of January 2025. And the Anambra will see a massive acceleration in all sectors. Ours is to continue to produce results, because Anambra must be livable and prosperous. We will win in 2025 by His grace.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Biafra group, who identified themselves as Biafran Provincial Government, BPG, has called on relevant authorities, including Chief Ernest Obiejesi of Obi Jackson Foundation, to compensate Christmas stampede victims, especially relatives of more than 20 persons that died on the 21st of December 2024 during rice and other gift items sharing process at Okija community in Enohia local government area of Anambra State. Media reports had it that over 20 persons died in the stampede that took place at the gate of the Obi Jackson Center in Amaranta area of the Okija community, where the 25 kilograms rice sharing event, including vegetable and cash, was held. The victims, according to residents, were particularly middle-aged women, the elderly and children, and they were stampeded upon as they struggled to gain entrance at the gate amid a very large crowd, in line with some of the videos posted online. Obi Jackson Foundation, in a statement shortly after the incident, stated that, due to the heartbreaking events earlier yesterday, the 21st of December 2024, surrounding the recent rice-sharing tragedy, the Obi Jackson Foundation has made the difficult decision to cancel this year's Christmas celebration for the Okija children, which was slated to have been held on December 24, 2024 at the community. Our hearts go out to those affected by the incident earlier yesterday. Despite the heartbreaking incident, we're thankful for the peaceful departure of all attendees. Our thoughts are with those affected, and we believe it's vital to prioritize healing and support for the community at this time. We look forward to continuing our work for the well-being of Okija in the new year. The Obi Jackson Foundation is committed to ensuring the safety of all who join our events and stands with the community in this difficult time. The BPG, in a press statement issued on Sunday by the group spokesperson, who identified himself as Captain Geoffrey Ahamufuna, in charge of Nnewi province of the Biafra Group Media and Communications, said that the Christmas gift-sharing tragedy is evidence that the federal government of Nigeria lacks visionary policy and willingness to curb corruption that are causing the people untold hardship. The Biafran Provincial Government (BPG), government of the state of Biafra, with a deep sense of regret, commiserate with the families and friends of the deceased and a quick recovery to those hospitalized due to the stampede for Christmas rice being shared by the Obi Jackson Foundation in Okija, Ihiala district of Nnewi province. The disastrous event involving the loss of several lives and scores injured occurred on the 21st of December 2024 at the Amaranta Stadium, Okija. The event to share rice for the Christmas season resulted to a stampede, as there is increase in the number of less privileged in the society who were eager to partake in the relief material. The extreme poverty and hunger crisis prevalent in the Nigeria-occupied territories is due to the rising cost of living exacerbated by the lack of visionary policy for the economy and the corrupt practices by the occupying government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Though the Obi Jackson Foundation is known for its philanthropic efforts in the women and child health care, prison welfare and others. Hence, there is need for the indigenous peoples in Okija community to be self-sufficient and self-reliant to avoid the need for foodstuff palliative. This is achievable through the mechanized farming policy as established in the Military-Civil Converge administered by the Biafran Supreme Military Council of Administration BSMCA of the Biafran Provincial Government BPG, Government of the State of Biafra. Chief Ernest Obiejesi of Obi Jackson Foundation should as a matter of priority endeavor to compensate the victims of the stampede and also communicate with the government of the state of Biafra for a disciplined and safe measures to avoid another tragic occurrence. The leader of the Biafra group, identified as Major Chukwuma Nwafo, Nnewi Provincial Administrator, stated according to the press release. Meanwhile, Barrister Peter Ekwueme, the founder, Peter Ekwueme Development Foundation and NNPP senatorial aspirant, Anambra South, in a statement, said, "It is with heavy heart that I received the news of the stampede that occurred in Okija, Ihiala local government area on Saturday, December 21, 2024, where several innocent lives were lost at a charity event organized by the Obi Jackson Foundation. I commiserate with the families of those who lost their lives in this ugly incident that cast a dark shadow on a laudable annual charity program organized with good intention. I am deeply saddened that families who were joyfully hoping to celebrate Christmas have suddenly been thrown into mourning simply because they wanted to benefit from the foundation's free rice distribution. With similar sad events reported to have occurred in other parts of the country, it brings to notice the need for charity event organizers to apply better strategy in distribution of items, particularly at this time that the country's economic situation has worsened the standard of living of many citizens. I condole with the people of Okija and Ihiala local government area over the unfortunate incident and pray for the peaceful repose of the souls of the deceased. May the families affected be consoled at the very difficult moment. Amen. Anambra State Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, in a press 24 hours after the incident, stated that, "I am deeply saddened by the tragic loss of lives in the stampede that occurred during an event in Okija, Ihiala local government area. My heartfelt condolences go out to the families of the deceased, especially the vulnerable ones who lost their lives in this unfortunate incident. We have initiated a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the stampede and will work closely with relevant agencies to ensure that any negligence or lapses in safety protocols are addressed. Let's prioritize the safety and well-being of our people, especially during charitable activities. We must do better to prevent such tragedies from happening again. May the souls of the departed rest in peace, and may we find strength in this difficult time." President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a condolence message and Christmas Day message to the victims in Okija and other parts of the country where similar incident occurred, stated in quote thus, "Dear fellow Nigerians, on this joyous Christmas Day, I extend my heartfelt greetings to Christians across Nigeria and worldwide as we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, as narrated in the Holy Scriptures. Christmas embodies the fulfillment of divine prophecy and symbolizes the triumph of love, peace, and unity. It is a poignant reminder that light can emerge even in the darkest times, bringing solace and hope. This belief resonates with people of all faiths. Indeed, God is with us. Recent tragic events in Ibadan, Okija, and Abuja deeply sadden us, and our thoughts are with those who continue to suffer from these heartbreaking incidents. We earnestly pray that such misfortunes do not revisit our families and communities and that the lives of innocents are never again cut short. I offer my deepest sympathies to the families enduring pain and loss this year, whether from floods, fires, or accidents. May we all find comfort and solace in our faith, the support of loved ones, and the abiding presence of Jesus Christ. Our compassionate and merciful God stands with the weak, the brokenhearted, and the sick. As we celebrate this blessed season, let us be mindful of those facing difficulties. They are not far from us, our neighbors, family members, and the people we encounter daily, whether in places of worship, markets, offices, or boardrooms. Kindness transcends financial status. Those with modest means and those with abundance need a smile or a word of encouragement. We must also honor our brave troops, who risk their lives to safeguard our nation. They deserve our prayers and steadfast support. Let us extend similar support and prayers to our nation's leaders. With your backing, we can serve our country diligently and strive for prosperity. Nigeria is on a promising path of restoration and progress, with every indication pointing toward a bright future. In the spirit of this season, let us renew our hope and believe in a prosperous Nigeria. For those traveling during this festive period, I wish you safe journeys. Rest assured, the government is taking all necessary steps to ensure our transportation routes are secure and convenient. We also provide free train services and subsidized road transport costs on 144 routes nationwide to ease your travels. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a joyous and prosperous New Year. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria said. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, former lead counsel to the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB leader, also reacting to the Okija incident, said, the recent stampede at a rice-sharing event in Okija, Anambra State, which claimed multiple lives, is a profound tragedy that underscores the fragility of life and the critical need for effective crowd management during such events. The haunting images of the deceased have deeply shaken me, serving as a somber reminder of the importance of safety in public gatherings. My heartfelt condolences go to the families of the victims. Losing loved ones in such a heartbreaking manner is an unimaginable pain, and I pray they find the strength to endure this immense loss. As the season of giving continues, I urge individuals, organizations, and foundations organizing charitable events to prioritize safety above everything else. Proper planning, stringent crowd control measures, and proactive risk assessments are non-negotiable to ensure that acts of kindness do not inadvertently lead to sorrow. Let us learn from this painful incident and commit to safeguarding lives as we extend generosity. Nigeria Police Force in a statement warned and stated that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, has raised serious concerns about the unorganized distribution of palliatives and relief items in the country during this festive period. This trend is worrisome and calls for urgent concerns to save the lives of citizens of this country, especially the vulnerable youths and the elderly. This warning follows a series of tragic incidents that highlight the urgent need for a more structured and effective approach to delivering aid to vulnerable communities and members of the public in general. It will be recalled that on the 18th of December 2024, a tragic incident had occurred in Ibadan, Imo State, where a stampede at a children's fun fair resulted in the deaths of at least 35 children and left many others critically injured. In the early hours of today, the 21st of December 2024, another tragedy struck at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitama, in a similar stampede that occurred during the distribution of food items to vulnerable and elderly individuals. This unfortunate incident led to the death of 10 individuals, leaving many others injured. A similar incident also occurred at Okija, Ihiala Local Government, Anambra State, at a palliative distribution set up by a philanthropist identified as Obi Jackson, which led to the death of several individuals. At the moment, 3 persons have been confirmed dead while many injured have been taken to various hospitals for adequate treatment. The IGP emphasized the dangers posed to public safety during these unorganized distributions and funfairs set up by groups, individuals and NGOs, including the potential for stampedes and other incidents that could endanger lives. The lack of a well-defined plan for distributing palliatives has resulted in chaos, leading to long lines and unnecessary confrontations among citizens seeking assistance. In light of these developments, the IGP has called on government officials, community leaders, and non-governmental organizations to work collaboratively towards establishing a comprehensive and organized framework for distributing palliatives. The IGP has hereby warned groups and organizers of similar events to ensure the involvement of security agencies, as negligence on their part is criminal and would not be overlooked, as provided for in Section 196 of the Penal Code and Section 344 of the Criminal Code, laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In addition, the IGP has encouraged the general public who would want to benefit from such distributions to tread with caution, prioritizing their safety, to avoid unforeseen calamities. The Nigeria Police Force reiterates its commitment to supporting efforts aimed at creating a safer and more structured environment for aid distribution in our communities. Collaborating with relevant stakeholders, the force aims to prevent future tragedies and ensure such processes are seamless. The IGP has ordered the commissioners of the affected states to carry out thorough investigations into these ugly incidences for further legal actions. The Inspector General of Police therefore sympathizes with the bereaved families and wishes those injured quick recovery, the force spokesperson, Olumiwa Adejobi, stated in the press release.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
2 crew members have been rescued alive when rescue team found them at the tail of Jeju Airlines plane flying from Bangkok that landed at Muan International Airport in South Korea on Sunday without wheels or landing gears, using its belly to land through, veering off the airport runway and burst into fireball when it slammed into the wall of the airport perimeter's fence, killing over 177 persons on board, as 2 occupants in the aircraft are yet to be accounted for. Jeju Airlines in a press statement said that 181 persons including crew members were on board plane, which local media at the crash site said. The rescue team have switched the rescue operation to recovery after presuming 177 persons died late night on Sunday according to South Korea local time, and to continue the search on Monday morning for the remaining 2 persons. South Korea's Minister of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, Park Sang-woo, said on Sunday that the government will mobilize all available resources to ensure swift rescue operations and manage the aftermath of the accident at Muan Airport in the south of the country. Park also apologized and expressed condolences to victims' families and the public, as the minister responsible for overseeing aviation administration. South Korea's Transport Ministry said, Jeju Air Flight 7C2216, arriving from the Thai capital Bangkok with 181 people on board, was attempting to land shortly after 9 a.m. at the airport in the south of the country. Videos posted online showed the twin-engine Boeing 737-800 skidding down the runway with no apparent landing gear before slamming into a wall in an explosion of flame and debris. Local media reported that 2 crew members, a man and a woman, were rescued from the tail section of the burning plane, Muan Fire Chief Lee Jong-hyun told a briefing. The fire was extinguished as of 1 p.m., Lee said, according to the media. Only the tail part retains a little bit of shape, and the rest looks almost impossible to recognize, he said. Authorities have switched from rescue to recovery operations, and because of the force of the impact, are searching nearby areas for bodies possibly thrown from the plane, Lee added. South Korea's Transport Ministry said on Sunday that its investigation unit secured both of the 2 black boxes from the crashed passenger jet. A total of 176 passengers and crew were reportedly presumed dead, with 3 missing, after the Jeju airplane, carrying 181 passengers and crew on a flight from Thailand, attempted a belly landing at the airport. A bird strike has emerged as a possible factor in Sunday's crash, Korean media Yonhap reported. A bird strike and adverse weather conditions were cited by authorities as likely causes of the crash that flung passengers out of the plane and left it almost completely destroyed, according to fire officials. International news agencies reported that, inside the airport terminal, tearful family members gathered to wait for news, with the boards typically used for arrival and departure information displaying names, dates of birth and nationalities of the victims. According to Reuters, News One agency reported that a passenger on the aircraft texted a relative to say that a bird was stuck in the plane's wing. The person's final words were reportedly, "Should I say my last words?" The fire department issued a statement regarding the crash. The department said, "The plane is almost completely destroyed, and identifying the deceased is proving difficult. The process is taking time as we locate and recover the remains." Jeju Airlines CEO, Kim Ibe issued an official statement on the company website and held a press conference. "First, we bow our heads in apology to everyone who has trusted Jeju Air. At approximately 9:03 a.m. on 29 December, Flight 7C2216 from Bangkok to Muan caught fire while landing at Muan International Airport. Above all, we express our deepest condolences and apologies to the families of the passengers who lost their lives in this accident. At present, the cause of the accident is difficult to determine, and we must await the official investigation results from the relevant government agencies," the CEO said in the statement. Meanwhile, Bangkok Post in a news report stated that South Korea's acting president, Choi Sang-mok, arrived at the scene of the deadliest disaster on the country's soil on Sunday. He had been on the job for less than 48 hours. Choi, the country's finance minister, became acting leader on Friday night after the impeachment of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, who had been acting president since President Yoon Suk-yeol was impeached and suspended from power on December 14 following his short-lived attempt to impose martial law. The bewildering turnover at the top of Asia's fourth-largest economy and one of its most vibrant democracies left the government scrambling when Jeju Air Flight 7C2216 slammed into a wall at Muan International Airport on Sunday, killing most of the 181 people on board. Choi visited the site a few hours after the crash and declared it a special disaster zone. The government would like to offer its sincere condolences to the bereaved families and will do its best to recover from this accident and prevent a recurrence, he said. Behind the scenes, government offices were still figuring out the chain of command and how press statements would be released, a ministry spokesperson and 4 other officials told Reuters. All spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive planning. Today, Choi went to Muan with land ministry officials, not finance ministry officials, a spokesperson said. A team of transportation ministry officials and safety ministry officials will report directly to Choi regarding the Muan plane crash for next few weeks. As for how we will distribute press releases on all his schedules, still undecided. Each ministry involved in foreign policy, administrative issues or safety has teams reporting to Choi, but Yoon's presidential staff does not, and Choi is operating from a government complex in Seoul rather than any official residence, one official said. A senior finance ministry official said it is still undecided who, if anyone, from Yoon's and Han's offices would report to Choi. Some of Kwa's duties as finance minister have been delegated to the vice minister, the ministry official added. The Central Disaster Control Team meetings are minister-level meetings, so the land minister and safety minister report directly to Choi, this official said. Choi is leading that centralized disaster control team instead of the prime minister, who would typically be in charge based on a manual prepared after the 2014 sinking of the ferry Sewol, which killed 304 people, and the Itaewon Halloween crowd crush that killed 159 people in 2022, a fourth official said. The political upheaval in South Korea was sparked when Yoon unexpectedly declared martial law on December 3, only to rescind the order within hours after parliament defied military and police cordons to vote against Yoon. Reuters also reported that the previous most deadly air accident in South Korea was in 2002, when a Boeing 767-200 operated by Air China crashed into a hill near South Korea's southeastern port city of Busan, killing 129 people and injuring 37. The crash at Muan International Airport is the first fatal accident involving the country's biggest budget airline, which was founded in 2005, according to the international news agency. In September 1983, Korea Airlines Flight 007 was shot down by a Soviet jet when it strayed into Soviet airspace over Sakhalin Island, killing all 269 people on board. In July 1993, a Boeing 737-500 operated by Asiana Airlines landed several miles short of the runway at South Korea's Mokpo Airport in poor weather. More than 60 people died. In August 1997, Korean Air Flight 801, a Boeing 7473-B5B 747-300 operated by Korean Air, plowed into a hill near Guam's International Airport, killing 228 out of 254 persons on board, data reported according to Reuters.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
There are speculations that the Azerbaijan plane that crashed on Christmas Day near Aktau Airport in Kazakhstan, killing 38 persons with 29 survivors, may have been shot down by a missile fired apparently from Russian Pantsir-S air defense system, with the speculation having some material base that the nearest airport on the Azov plane flight path was Makhachkala, but the plane veered off hundreds of miles across the Caspian Sea to try to negotiate emergency landing at Aktau. A video and photographs made online showed the body of the plane suffered a likely bomb attack and the body was full of holes, which indicated that the missile exploded near the plane and shattered the body of the plane. The video was said to be recorded while the plane was on emergency situation by one of the passengers that survived the plane crash. Russia authorities are yet to respond to media inquiries, but Russia Federal Air Transport Agency, Rosavia, had shortly after the plane crash said its preliminary investigation showed that the plane was apparently down by a bird strike. Reuters stated that one of the Azerbaijani sources familiar with Azerbaijan's investigation into the crash told Reuters that preliminary results showed the plane was struck by a Russian Pantsir-S air defense system. Its communications were paralyzed by electronic warfare systems on the approach into Grozny, the source said. No one claims that it was done on purpose. However, taking into account the established facts, Baku expects the Russian side to confess to the shooting down of the Azerbaijani aircraft, the source said. According to other sources close to the plane crash investigators, the missile fired from a Pantsir-S air defense system exploded near the aircraft during drone activity over Grozny, Chechnya. Shrapnel from the blast struck passengers and crew mid-flight. Despite the pilot's requests for an emergency landing at Russian airports, the damaged plane was denied permission to land and was ordered to cross the Caspian Sea to Kazakhstan. Data from the flight indicates that the plane's GPS navigation systems were jammed throughout its journey over the sea. Russian sources confirmed that their air defense forces were actively targeting Ukrainian drones in the region at the time of the incident. Kamzat Kadyrov, head of the Security Council of the Chechen Republic, acknowledged a drone attack over Grozny on Wednesday but reported no casualties or damage on the ground. This marks the second commercial aircraft crash linked to Russian forces in a decade, following the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 in 2014. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev has launched a criminal investigation into the incident as further details emerge, Euronews reported. Meanwhile, those killed as a result of the tragedy that occurred during the Baku-Grozny flight J28243 were commemorated with a minute of silence at the Heydar Aliyev International Airport on Thursday. Azal Airlines in a statement said, "We will never forget the dear people we lost as a result of the Embraer 190 plane crash. These losses left a wound in the heart of an entire community. This loss calls us to be more sensitive and connected. For this reason, the memorial stand installed at the Baku airport, at the southern entrance of Terminal 2, has a special meaning. The stand is open to everyone. Visitors can share prayers, memories and tributes in their hearts here. May the souls of those who lost their lives tragically in the accident be happy and their memories be eternal. Adding that, a joint statement from the press services of the Ministry of Emergency Situations of the Azerbaijan Republic and Azerbaijan Airlines JSC indicated that bodies of passengers and crew members who died in the crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines plane near the city of Aktau, Kazakhstan, will be brought to Azerbaijan in the near future. At the same time, a special flight of the airline is planned to transport the victims. Their transportation to Baku by this flight will only take place provided that the health condition of the victims, according to doctors, will allow the transportation. In connection with this, the competent state authorities of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan are taking all necessary measures. Azerbaijan Foreign Ministry in a press release also on Thursday, stated that on December 26, 2024, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Bakhtiyor Sedov, called the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Jehun Beramov. During the telephone conversation, the other party expressed condolences on behalf of the state and people of Uzbekistan regarding the tragic accident of our country's plane flying from Baku to Grozny near the city of Aktau the previous day. He wished God's mercy to the deceased, patience to their relatives, and recovery to the injured. It was noted that the Republic of Uzbekistan stands in solidarity with the brotherly Republic of Azerbaijan in these difficult days and shares its grief, and hope was expressed that such a tragedy would not happen again. Minister Jehun Beramov expressed his condolences and thanked the brotherly Republic of Uzbekistan for the support shown on a difficult day for our country and people. From the first minutes of the accident, in accordance with the instructions of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Ilham Aliyev, a state commission was established to investigate the causes of the plane crash, and a delegation consisting of leaders of relevant institutions of our country was sent to the accident site. Information was provided on the measures taken to eliminate the consequences of the accident and provide assistance to the injured. We had earlier reported that the Azerbaijan Foreign Ministry has confirmed that 32 persons have been recorded as survivors among the 62 passengers. 5 crew members on board Azal airline flying from Baku to Grozny city in Russia that burst into flame while negotiating emergency landing on Christmas Day near Aktau airport in Kazakhstan. 32 people have been identified as survivors after an Azerbaijani Airlines, Azal, passenger plane crashed near the Kazakh city of Aktau on Wednesday, the Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry said in a press statement on its website. Azal Airlines in a press release on its social media handles stated the 62 passengers on board the plane include 37 citizens of Azerbaijan, 3 citizens of Kyrgyzstan, 6 citizens of Kazakhstan and 16 citizens of Russia. The Embraer 190 aircraft operated by Azerbaijan Airlines, flight number J28243 on the Baku-Grozny route, made an emergency landing approximately 3 kilometers near the city of Aktau, Azal Airlines stated in quote. Kazakh authorities had earlier said 28 people had survived the crash of the Embraer 190 near the city of Aktau, an oil and gas hub on the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea. The plane was flying from the Azerbaijani capital Baku on the western shore of the Caspian to the city of Grozny in Chechnya in southern Russia. Eyewitness video shows survivors of plane crash in Kazakhstan pulled from wreckage. Some videos shared online showed rescuers pulling out survivors from the wreckage of Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash near Akatu, Kazakhstan, with some of them coming apparently looking strong but with some injuries. 10 people from the crash have been admitted to the Aktau Multidisciplinary Hospital, according to earlier reports from local media. Kazakhstan's Ministry of Emergency Situations said its teams found the aircraft. On fire upon arrival at the scene, rescue units began extinguishing the fire. Currently, information about the victims is being clarified, and according to preliminary information, there are survivors, the ministry said. Azal Airlines, also known as Azerbaijan Airlines in numbers of updated press releases, stated and in quote that there were 62 passengers on board. According to preliminary information, 37 of them were Azerbaijani citizens, 16 Russian citizens, 6 Kazakhstan citizens, 3 Kyrgyzstan citizens. The list of passengers will be announced to the public soon. There were no children among the passengers. Information about the victims will be provided soon. According to the information, there are survivors. They are given first aid. Contacts are carried out with the Kazakhstan side, and necessary operative and necessary support is provided by the emergency rescue agencies of Kazakhstan at the scene of the incident. Meanwhile, official statement by Russia Federal Air Transport Agency, also known as Rosaviatsia, blamed bird strike on the possible cause of the plane crash. Today, around 9:30 Moscow time, an Embraer 190 aircraft operated by the Azerbaijani airline has collided with the ground near the eastern coast of the Caspian Sea while approaching Aktau Airport in Kazakhstan for landing. Preliminary information suggests that after a bird strike and the resulting emergency situation on board, the aircraft's captain decided to divert to an alternate airport, choosing Aktau as the destination. Emergency services of the Republic of Kazakhstan are conducting search and rescue operations. Rosaviatsia is in contact with the carrier Azal, as well as the aviation authorities of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, the Russia Air Transport Agency stated. Azerbaijan Foreign Ministry, in a press release some hours ago, said and in quote that on the 25th of December, the Embraer 190 aircraft of Azerbaijan Airlines, with operating flight number J28243 from Baku to Grozny, was directed to Aktau due to an emergency landing requirement and crashed near the city. The causes of the accident are being investigated. There were 67 people on board, including 62 passengers and 5 crew members. According to preliminary information, 32 people have been identified as survivors. Some of them are in critical condition. Following the instructions of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, a state commission chaired by Prime Minister Ali Asadov has been established to investigate the causes of the plane crash. Moreover, per the instructions of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, a delegation led by the Minister of Emergency Situations of the Republic of Azerbaijan as well as the Minister of Digital Development and Transport, departed for Kazakhstan in connection with the tragic accident. The Consulate General of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Aktau has been operating at the scene since the first moment of the accident. Emergency rescue agencies are taking urgent operational measures in coordination with the Kazakhstani side. Hotlines related to the accident: Azal, +994 12 504 8280, +994 12 504 8202, +994 12 504 8203. Consulate General of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Aktau, +7 7087 127016. Ministry of Emergency Situations of the Republic of Kazakhstan, +7 7172 559621, +7 7292 319091. We pray for Allah's mercy on those who died in the accident and for the recovery of those injured.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Joint security operatives, comprising men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, Civil Defense, local vigilante group members led by men of the Nigeria Police Force have deactivated and set off 19 unexploded bombs planted by unknown gunmen at Nimo community in the Anjikoko local government area of Anambra State after gun battle with the known state actors on Christmas Eve. Anambra State Police Command, in numbers of news releases on Wednesday, said that the security team also dismantled the unknown gunmen camp and set the makeshift houses in the unknown gunmen hideout ablaze. The news releases also indicated that the Anambra State Police Command has arrested one Chukwuma Obi, a 32-year-old male criminal suspect from Umuagu village, Igboku, Agwata local government area, in connection with an alleged case of attempted kidnapping and extortion. According to the police command, the arrest was made on December 24, 2024, by operatives of the Anti-Cultism Squad, Enugu. The suspect is accused of demanding a ransom of 1,200,000 naira, 1,200,000 nairas, through threats of abduction. The victim reported receiving a menacing message from an individual claiming to be a member of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, threatening abduction unless the demanded ransom was paid into a specified account. During interrogation, the suspect confessed to the crime and is currently assisting the police in identifying and apprehending other members of the gang involved in the criminal activities. This arrest follows a similar case late last month, where the command apprehended a couple specializing in sending threatening messages and extorting victims under the guise of planned abductions. The couple confessed to their crimes and admitted to destroying SIM cards used in their illicit activities. The Commissioner of Police, CP Enohia Itim, reiterated the command's commitment to pursuing all cases to a conclusive end to ensure that suspects are apprehended and justice is served. He emphasized that such efforts are vital in preventing further criminal activities and ensuring the safety and security of residents. The Anambra State Police Command continues to urge the public to report any suspicious activities to the nearest police station or through its emergency lines. SP Tochukwu Ikenga, Police Public Relations Officer, Anambra State Police Command, in an earlier report today, stated that, in the early hours of December 24, 2024, a joint security operation led by the Nigeria Police Force and comprising the military, civil defense, and Anambra vigilante operatives successfully dismantled a criminal camp located in Nimo and Jikoko local government area. The operation resulted in the destruction of several makeshift structures within the camp, the recovery of 19 unexploded improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and inflicted significant injuries on fleeing suspects. This decisive action followed credible intelligence on the activities of the criminal gang in the area, coupled with information obtained during the interrogation of suspects arrested in ongoing police operations across the state. The Commissioner of Police, CP Enohia Itim, commends the synergy between the security agencies and the vigilance of the public in providing actionable intelligence. He emphasizes the importance of continued collaboration to ensure the safety and security of all residents during and after the festive season. In light of this development, the Commissioner of Police strongly urges all proprietors of private and public hospitals to immediately report any individual presenting with bullet wounds or injuries of a suspicious nature to the nearest police station. This measure is critical to the ongoing effort to apprehend fleeing suspects and prevent further criminal activity. The Anambra State Police Command assures the public of its unwavering commitment to maintaining security dominance through sustained patrols and targeted operations aimed at ensuring a peaceful Yuletide season for all. In another news release on Tuesday, the Commissioner of Police CP Enohia Itim directs the deployment of operatives of X-Squad of the command to ensure police personnel at various checkpoints uphold a high standard of professionalism in the discharge of their duties and shun any acts of extortion, harassment, and unruly behavior, especially towards the traveling public. The police team, led by Chief Superintendent of Police, CSP Emeka Chukwuemeka, the former Police Public Relations Officer of the command, is to complement the already deployed personnel to maintain law and order and is specially tasked to patrol and ensure operatives comply with the standard operational procedure of the force. Also, the Public Complaint Bureau, likewise complaint response units, are to be active 24/7 to attend to the security requests of Ndi Anambra. The CP notes that every resident or visitor to Anambra State deserves to be treated decently in line with the policing principles of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetukun, and urges members of the public to promptly report erring officers to the command for appropriate sanction. You are encouraged to call 112, the control room number 17039194332. Ex-Squad Commander on 08033294280 or PPRO on 08039334002. Also call the various area commands and DPOs in your area of concern, please, for a quick response, please. Meanwhile, following the 2024 operational order for Christmas and New Year celebrations of the command, Anambra State Police operatives and joint security forces continue to sustain security dominance and anti-crime patrols in the state. The security deployment covers Onitsha, Agwata, Nnewi, Awka, Ogidi Nnobi, Oba, Uli, Ihiala, and many unstrategic areas. The Commissioner of Police CP Nnage Obono Itam, while felicitating with the good people of Anambra, wishes them a peaceful and happy Christmas and New Year celebrations. He also entreats them to use this period of festivity to pray for the peace and security of the state and the nation at large. In event to request any security services, call the command control room number on 07039194332 or PPRO 08039334002 for a prompt response. The NPF Rescue Me app is also available for free download on both Android and Apple iOS, for Android and iPhone users respectively. You can also call the various area commanders or DPOs in your areas of concern, as you can find attached, please.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Azerbaijan Foreign Ministry has confirmed that 32 persons have been recorded as survivors among the 62 passengers. 5 crew members on board Azal airline flying from Baku to Grozny city in Russia that burst into flame while negotiating emergency landing on Christmas Day near Aktau Airport in Kazakhstan. 32 people have been identified as survivors after an Azerbaijani Airlines Azal passenger plane crashed near the Kazakh city of Aktau on Wednesday, the Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry said in a press statement on its website. Azal Airlines, in a press release on its social media handle, stated the 62 passengers on board the plane include 37 citizens of Azerbaijan, 3 citizens of Kyrgyzstan, 6 citizens of Kazakhstan, and 16 citizens of Russia. The Embraer 190 aircraft operated by Azerbaijan Airlines, flight number J28243 on the Baku-Grozny route, made an emergency landing approximately 3 kilometers near the city of Aktau, Azal Airlines stated in quote. Kazakh authorities had earlier said 28 people had survived the crash of the Embraer 190 near the city of Aktau, an oil and gas hub on the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea. The plane was flying from the Azerbaijani capital Baku on the western shore of the Caspian to the city of Grozny in Chechnya in southern Russia. Eyewitness video shows survivors of plane crash in Kazakhstan pulled from wreckage. Some videos shared online showed rescuers pulling out survivors from the wreckage of Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash near Akatu, Kazakhstan, with some of them coming apparently looking strong but with some injuries. 10 people from the crash have been admitted to the Aktau Multidisciplinary Hospital, according to earlier reports from local media. Kazakhstan's Ministry of Emergency Situations said its teams found the aircraft on fire upon arrival at the scene. Rescue units began extinguishing the fire. Currently, information about the victims is being clarified, and according to preliminary information, there are survivors, the ministry said. Azal Airlines, also known as Azerbaijan Airlines in numbers of updated press releases, stated and in quote that there were 62 passengers on board. According to preliminary information, 37 of them were Azerbaijani citizens, 16 Russian citizens, 6 Kazakhstan citizens, 3 Kyrgyzstan citizens. The list of passengers will be announced to the public soon. There were no children among the passengers. Information about the victims will be provided soon. According to the information, there are survivors. They are given first aid. Contacts are carried out with the Kazakhstan side and necessary operative and necessary support is provided by the emergency rescue agencies of Kazakhstan at the scene of the incident. Meanwhile, official statement by Russia Federal Air Transport Agency, also known as Rosaviatia, blamed bird strike on the possible cause of the plane crash. Today, around 9:30 Moscow time, an Embraer 190 aircraft operated by the Azerbaijani airline has collided with the ground near the eastern coast of the Caspian Sea while approaching Aktau Airport in Kazakhstan for landing. Preliminary information suggests that after a bird strike and the resulting emergency situation on board, the aircraft's captain decided to divert to an alternate airport, choosing Aktau as the destination. Emergency services of the Republic of Kazakhstan are conducting search and rescue operations. Rosaviatia is in contact with the carrier Azal, as well as the aviation authorities of Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, the Russia Air Transport Agency stated. Azerbaijan Foreign Ministry in a press release some hours ago said, and in quote, that on the 25th of December, the Embraer 190 aircraft of Azerbaijan Airlines, with operating flight number J28243 from Baku to Grozny, was directed to Aktau due to an emergency landing requirement and crashed near the city. The causes of the accident are being investigated. There were 67 people on board, including 62 passengers and 5 crew members. According to preliminary information, 32 people have been identified as survivors. Some of them are in critical condition. Following the instructions of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, a state commission chaired by Prime Minister Ali Asadov has been established to investigate the causes of the plane crash. Moreover, per the instructions of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, a delegation led by the Minister of Emergency Situations of the Republic of Azerbaijan as well as the Minister of Digital Development and Transport, departed for Kazakhstan in connection with the tragic accident. The Consulate General of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Aktau has been operating at the scene since the first moment of the accident. Emergency rescue agencies are taking urgent operational measures in coordination with the Kazakhstani side. Hotlines related to the accident: Azal, +994 12 504 8280, +994 12 504 8202, +994 12 504 8203. Consulate General of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Aktau, +7 7087 127016. Ministry of Emergency Situations of the Republic of Kazakhstan, +7 7172 559621, +7 7292 319091. We pray for Allah's mercy on those who died in the accident and for the recovery of those injured.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Protests erupted in Damascus, the capital of Syria, on Tuesday when some armed group in now viral video were seen burning Christmas trees set up by some members of the minority Christian group in the Asia country, which currently have new Islamic leadership after a group of opposition fighters ousted President Bashar al-Assad earlier this month. Christian Family Worldwide in a Facebook post on Tuesday said, "Burning Christmas tree in Hama, Syria by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham terrorist group, HTS, we ask for security and safety for Christian people during Christmas and New Year. It is a violation against the religion freedom and diversity in the country. We ask for international peacekeeping forces to provide safety and security in the country." While Syrians were seen enjoying at the Christmas market after ousting of Assad, the burning of the Christmas tree was said to have been carried out by foreign body. Group of Christians were seen in protest march from street to street demanding the new Islamic Authority to protect the religious rights of the Christians. Despite the tension generated, local media reported that Christmas Mass was held at the Melkite Greek Catholic Church in capital Damascus. Observers said that Christians are hopeful for future after end of a 13-year civil war while church bells are ringing and worship services are being held across country. According to AFP International News Agency, hundreds of demonstrators took to the streets in Christian areas of Damascus early Tuesday to protest the burning of a Christmas tree near Hama in central Syria. "We demand the rights of Christians," protesters chanted as they marched through the Syrian capital towards the headquarters of the Orthodox Patriarchate in the Bab Shaki neighborhood. The protests come a little more than 2 weeks after an armed coalition led by Islamists toppled the government of Bashar al-Assad, who had cast himself as a protector of minorities in the Sunni-majority country. A demonstrator who gave his name as judges told AFP he was protesting injustice against Christians. "If we're not allowed to live our Christian faith in our country, as we used to, then we don't belong here anymore," he said. The protests erupted after a video spread on social media showing hooded fighters setting fire to a Christmas tree in the Christian-majority town of Sukelabia, near Hama. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the fighters were foreigners from the Islamist group Ansar al-Tawhid. In another video posted to social media, a religious leader from Syria's victorious Islamist group, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, addressed residents, claiming those who touched the tree were not Syrian, and promising they would be punished. "The tree will be restored and lit up by tomorrow morning," he said. The Islamist HTS movement, rooted in Al-Qaeda and supported by Turkey, has promised to protect minorities since its lightning offensive toppled Assad this month following years of stalemate, AFP reported. A local resident in Sukelabia city on Monday posted on Facebook and said that a foreign armed terrorist group consisting of 8 members burned a Christmas tree in the city, threatening with weapons anyone who tried to put out the fire. "Please deliver the video to all parties responsible for protecting Christians in Syria." It was gathered that while the current head of Syrian new government, Ahmad al-Shara aka Abu Muhammad Julani, was meeting with delegations from Qatar and Jordan, suspected 8 Uzbeks burned the Christmas tree in the Orthodox Sukelabia city near Hama. The burning of the Christmas has since Monday caused a harsh reaction from the minority Syrian Christians who did not flee after the militants captured the country. Residents said protests continued all night in Christian areas and towns. People took to the streets, both on foot and in cars. In Bab Tom, one of the historical areas of Damascus, where there is a high density of churches, Christian militias with weapons were even seen, according to some residents who shared their observations on social media.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Nigeria Police Force says over 30,313 persons were arrested in connection with various crimes across the nation in 2024, with 1,581 kidnapped rescued. Olumiwa Adejobi in a news release few minutes ago, the force said 1,984 firearms and 23,250 ammunition were recovered in the year under review. Details of the news release and other previous media information made available to the public by the Force Public Relations Unit read verbatim below. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, held a strategic meeting today Tuesday the 24th of December 2024, with senior police officers of the Nigeria Police Force. The meeting, which took place at the Goodluck Ebele Peacekeeping Hall, Force Headquarters Abuja, served as a platform for reviewing the achievements of the force in the year 2024 while outlining strategic plans for innovation and adaptability as the force prepares for the challenges of the coming year. In his remarks, the IGP acknowledged the hard work and dedication displayed by police officers throughout the year, particularly the significant accomplishments in crime reduction and community engagement, noting the importance of collaborative efforts in fostering trust between the police and the public. In the year under review, the Nigeria Police Force recorded major successes in tackling crime, leading to the arrest of 30,313 suspects for various heinous offenses, the recovery of 1,984 assorted firearms, 23,250 rounds of ammunition of varying calibers, and the rescue of 1,581 kidnapped victims. The IGP emphasized that the force will prioritize innovation in technology and operational strategies in 2025, learning from experiences and adapting as we move on. The IGP also encouraged senior officers to embrace modern tools and progressive practices that enhance the force's effectiveness in crime prevention and investigation. As the nation approaches the festive season, the Nigeria Police Force, under the leadership of IGP Egbetokun, is poised to implement the necessary measures to ensure a peaceful and secure environment for all citizens. The IGP reiterates the Nigeria Police Force's commitment to strengthening its partnership with the public, ensuring safety, and fostering a culture of accountability. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force, under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, on Monday the 23rd of December 2024, proudly commissioned the Force Insurance Company, a groundbreaking initiative aimed at enhancing the welfare and security of police personnel and their families. The ceremony took place at the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Peacekeeping Hall, FHQ Abuja, in the presence of key dignitaries, including the Chairman, House Committee on Police Affairs, Honorable Maki Yaluman, Chairman, Police Service Commission, Dick Hashimu Agungu, retired, and other notable stakeholders. The establishment of the Force Insurance Company marks a significant step in the NPF's commitment to the well-being of its members. The newly formed insurance company will provide comprehensive coverage for police officers, offering benefits that include health insurance, life insurance, and various other financial protection plans tailored to meet the specific needs of law enforcement personnel. In another development, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, decorated the newly promoted Assistant Inspector Generals of Police, AIGs, and Commissioners of Police, CPs, with their new ranks amidst cheers from their families, friends, and professional colleagues on Monday the 23rd of December 2024 at the Goodluck Jonathan Peacekeeping Hall, Force Headquarters, Abuja. The promotion included the elevation of 10 CPs to the rank of AIG and 17 DCs to the substantive rank of CP. This is sequel to the recent promotion approved by the Police Service Commission. The newly decorated officers from the rank of CP to AIG include AIG Mustafa Mohammed Bala and AIG Akiwale Adeniran, among others. In addition, the decorated officers from the rank of DCP to CP are CP Adamu Bakori and CP Abayomi Shogunle, among others. In attendance was the representative of the Zamfara State Governor, Bala Umar Chaif, the representative of the Ebonyi State Governor, Prince Eta Oka Ude, the representative of the Enugu State Governor, Chukwuma Ogu, the Force Management Team, serving and retired senior police officers, families of promotees, and other dignitaries. The Inspector General of Police congratulated the newly promoted officers and charged them to discharge the schedules of their new ranks and apply their vast knowledge of policing towards ensuring the safety and security of Nigeria, acting in accordance with the rule of law, as the Nigeria Police Force keeps working towards a safer country for all citizenry. On the other hand, the Nigeria Police Force wishes to address a viral fake news story that has emerged, claiming that Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, has instructed citizens to physically assault and throw stones at police officers who request to search their phones. This claim is entirely false and has no basis in reality. The IGP has not issued any such directive encouraging violence against law enforcement officers. Instead, he has called on citizens to report instances of police misconduct through appropriate channels. This approach underscores the importance of accountability and maintaining the rule of law, rather than resorting to violent actions. Members of the public are urged to make use of the following police helplines and contact to lay complaints whenever necessary. +234 7056792065, +234 9133333785, +234 9133333786, at Policing on X, at NG Police on Facebook, and at Nigeria Police Force on Instagram. Citizens can also contact us by mail through pressformuja@police.gov.ng and reach us through the police website at npf.gov.ng. Members of the public are advised to remain vigilant against misinformation and verify information through credible sources. The Nigeria Police Force remains committed to fostering a cooperative and trustful relationship between the police and the communities they serve. In another related news, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetukun, has directed the Force Criminal Investigations Department, FCID, to immediately take over the investigation into the unfortunate death of Jimoh Abdul Qadri, who passed away while in police detention in Kwara State on Friday the 20th of December 2024. In a show of commitment to justice and accountability, the IGP visited Kwara State on Sunday the 22nd of December 2024, where he met with the bereaved family of the deceased. The IGP was received by the Balogun Fulani of Ilorin, Alhaji Sadiq Atiku Fulani, who spoke on behalf of the family. During the meeting, the IGP expressed his profound condolences and assured the family that no stone would be left unturned in uncovering the circumstances that led to the tragic incident. The IGP has ordered the FCID to handle the case with utmost diligence and ensure a conclusive and impartial investigation. He further reassured the family and the general public that the Nigeria Police Force remains committed to upholding the highest standards of accountability, professionalism, and respect for human rights. While reiterating the force's zero-tolerance stance on unprofessional conduct among its personnel, the IGP called on all stakeholders to remain calm and allow the due process of law to prevail.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.